Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough where we bring the above, below, and talk about the transits you should know. So this is our week of May 18th through the 24th. I'm late and I missed last week because I have had bereavement leave, but the sky keeps on turning. With that, I want to do a quick little catch up of some of the major transits we missed because we missed a lot of Mercury action that I didn't cover last week between the Taurus, Mercury Cazimi, and then Mercury moving into Gemini, and we had the Mercury-Uranus conjunction. And with all of that, we also had Venus moving into Cancer and Mars moving into Taurus, and that was yesterday on May 18th. And so this is a very different astro landscape than what we've been dealing with. There's a lot of hurry up and slow down energy, like our minds, our mouths, our hands, our muscles are all wanting to move, but then we have Taurus Mars going, do it slowly and only if it's necessary. Taurus Mars is Mars in detriment, and there's a little bit of, you can't get a Taurus Mars to do something they don't want to do, but once they set their mind to something, they won't stop. So this can be very stubborn energy. This can just be a lot of pushing forward or refusing to start. Cancer Venus is now co-present with Jupiter in Cancer, and today with the Cancer Moon. This is very auspicious and won't happen again for many years, with all three of them there. And so Tuesday and until Wednesday evening, there are some really luxurious, pleasurable vibes. And then the rest of the time, anytime we're dealing with a planet in Cancer, every 2.5 days with the moon changing signs, that vibe changes. And so ironically, the word mercurial comes to mind when we're dealing with lunar stuff, just because of the changeability. But the difference between the changeability of Luna versus Mercury is there's a really rhythmic cycle to the moon. She makes it through all 12 signs without any retrogrades every month, just like clockwork. This is the rhythm of the ocean. The tides come in and the tides come out. And so with Venus and Jupiter there, I really want you to listen to the gift of the body, because the moon represents our body, our needs, our resources, what we gather. And with that right now, tending to those cycles is going to be even more rewarding and more fruitful. So really pay attention to the Cancer area of your chart, because there's a lot of untapped gifts there. So jumping into where we are now, on Tuesday, we had the moon square Neptune, trine the North Node, Mercury at the bendings of the nodes, which is very confusing. A lot of weird arguments online right now. Moon square Saturn, a little bit of friction, overdoing it, and Mercury trine Pluto. It's a good time to kind of check in with what everyone is doing. What is the zeitgeist really speaking to right now? And with our cards, we have the dove reversed. And there's a Venusian quality to the dove and to, bearing the little sprig of olive that tells us that there is land. And with this reversal, it's about turning inward. And we have a lot of reversals in the cards this week, and a lot of just looking inward for the signs rather than outward. Something strange also happened where we got 2 different sets of duplicate cards, because this is my Magpie deck, so there's multiples in it from different decks. And on Monday, we started out with Strength Reversed, which is our rabbit and our lion. And this is feeling unequipped to go up against the odds facing us. How can we control the aggression? How can we face it down? How can we stand in our values? And there's some confusion around that. There's some frustration. And then when we move to today, Tuesday, we have the Strength Reverse, but it is a tree suspended over a gully. And this awareness that it's not actually about other people, it's not actually parts of ourselves, it's the general landscape can feel very exhausting and inhospitable. So any steps you can take to change that right now are going to be more fruitful. We move into Wednesday, which is Mercury's day. We start off with our moon conjunct Jupiter, which is very lovely. And then we have moon square Chiron, before the sun ingresses into Gemini at 6:36 p.m. Mountain Time. Then we have our Leo moon a couple hours later, and the Leo moon will sextile the Gemini sun, Uranus in Gemini, and square Taurus Mars in the evening. So with this, we have the Nine of Swords, and this is the one that I call the panic haircut. It's like when you're so stressed and you're just looking for something easy to change, and it's like, well, what if I just changed my hair? Maybe that would fix all of my problems. And so there is this urge to make an outward change. And, you know, with Taurus Mars, there can be like a Venus ruled Mars, very like making an aesthetic change, cutting something off for aesthetic reasons. But beyond that, I want you to think with Wednesday and with the beginning of Gemini season, what does my nervous system need that is real? Not the little things, not the filler, not the coping strategy, not the easy stuff, especially because we're having a Gemini season that starts off with the ruler, Mercury, in domicile. And I want you to really reflect on like what is needed with that. And like with the Leo moon right at the beginning too, there is this sense of like what, because that Leo moon is ruled by that Gemini sun. So like what does the self need to regulate? Because tomorrow we also get the Nine of Swords reversed, but this is a little bit more classic. It's with the sleep issues, the stress, the nightmare, the anxiety, the what's going on with the world. What have I repressed because I've been dealing with this anxiety for so long? Does it even matter anymore? And on Thursday, we do have the Leo moon trine Neptune, opposing Pluto, sextile Mercury, trine Saturn, and then it goes void of course for 32 hours. And that again means kind of being unresourced. And so with that, I want you to really stop justifying and ignoring the things that are wrong. I know there's a lot wrong right now for everybody. Everybody is in it and has been for a long time. And it's so easy to be like, well, that's just how it is. That's just where we are. But we have to change the pattern somewhere. And that can start with us. That can start with, what do I need to do differently right now that is small? Like one tiny right action at a time. One tiny change at a time. I know I repeat this a lot, but it's what we've got. It's what we've got. We've got the next right action. And with that, we move on to Friday, where we have the Four of Curses reversed. And this can be that feeling of no longer being able to look at everything that is going wrong. No longer being able to stomach it, wanting to look away, realizing that witnessing is sometimes more harmful than helpful. And we do have Venus square Neptune, and the sun conjunct Uranus, and Mercury sextile Saturn, Venus trine the nodes, and the moon trine Chiron. This day feels like bad news that aches, but has the seed of change in it. Because sometimes bad things happen, and that's what motivates better choices. On Saturday, we jump into our Virgo moon and get an immediate square to Uranus and the sun, trine to Mars, conjunction with the south node, opposition to the north, and sextile Venus. And that's all in the morning with our half moon. And we have the Five of Wands. It is our little bunny Five of Wands, so it's a little bit less harsh. But Saturday does feel pretty conflict driven. And I want you to choose your battles with this, because that Virgo moon is ruled by Mercury in Gemini. And so there's a lot of options. Like, you could do it, or you could just let it be like, all right, I'm going to tease out this creative project I'm doing, and I'm going to ignore other people because we're probably going to fight about silly things that don't matter. Some of that conflict could be constructive, but very much not choose your fighter, choose your battle. And finally on Sunday, Virgo moon squares her ruler, Mercury in Gemini, and then sextiles Jupiter, the sun sextiles Neptune, and Mars sextiles the north node. And this is another liminal place. We are back in the alley reversed. And it's just What do you do with a dream state? Focus on that question, and I'll see you next week.